Anthony, what are you eating to lose weight? When are you eating? What are you taking with it? What does your typical day look like? Hopefully I'll be able to answer those questions in this video. I'm calling it the full day of eating with Pruvit Keto OS, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through a typical day for me. If I don't answer your questions in this video, please leave a comment below or go to my website, anthonyflatt.com, and leave me a message. I'd like to make these videos that specifically address my viewers and my subscribers' questions. So if you don't get your question answered in this video and you don't see it in one of my other videos, just shoot me an email, leave me a voicemail, or leave a comment with one of my videos, and I'll get back to you. So here's the video today. Full day of eating with Pruvit Keto OS, okay? I wake up every day about 5 to 6 a.m. And I immediately go down to my home office, which I'm in today, which is messy. I haven't finished cleaning it up, but we'll deal with it today. I try to drink a bottle of water right off the bat, and then I wait a little bit, and then I actually, I check my emails and start doing a little bit of work, but I'm waiting, and then I check my ketone levels and my glucose levels, and I do that. Some people do it with a blood meter. This is my little care package I take with me when I travel and keep near me. But I like to actually test my glucose in my blood on a meter. This is a glucose meter and a ketone meter. You get the little strips in the canister, and you can test your blood and your ketone every day, ketone levels every day. Some people do it ketones with the strips that you pee on, and those can give you an indication, but I find that the blood test is more accurate. It only takes a tiny drop of blood. It's very painless. It's pretty simple. So I check my ketone levels and my glucose levels first thing in the morning, just to kind of see how things went over the night. How did I do the day before? And kind of helps me mentally get ready for, okay, what am I going to need to do today? Are my glucose levels good? My ketone levels good? And that just kind of helps set the mindset for the day. All right. So then about 6 to 9 a.m., between 6 and 9 a.m., usually when I, kind of my head comes up and I think about taking a break. Sometimes I get really involved and, hours go by. But between 6 and 9 a.m., I drink a Keto OS drink. And I either drink a Keto OS Biomax Maui Punch, or a Keto OS Orange Dream, or a Keto OS Chocolate Swirl, or I might have coffee with the keto cream in it. Now, sometimes I do just one of those. I'll just do a bottle of water. I'll do one real quick here. Bottle of water, packet of Keto OS. Let's do the Biomax. This is probably my favorite just because it's a fruit punch flavor. Well, I wouldn't say it's my favorite. It's my favorite by itself. I've kind of got into mixing and matching some of these. And Frank Pruvit gave me, actually I think it was his daughter that kind of invented it, but he mixes the Keto OS 2.1 with the Max, and I did that, and then I mixed it in a blender and made it into like a Slurpee or an icy or slushy, whatever, depending on what part of the country or world you're from, depends on what you guys call it, a little iced thing. And what I do is I keep this I don't know, what do they call these? I always forget the Yeti cup. I keep this nearby and I put it in there, but for today I'm just going to have one of these. So I drink one of these in the morning, either just like this, or maybe I'll put it in, I'll mix a couple. Like I said, I mixed the Maui Punch and the Orange Dream, but what I've been doing lately also is I've been taking chai tea, and mixing chai tea with the chocolate swirl, the Keto OS chocolate swirl, and the keto cream. Mixing those together and blending them into an icy and having like an iced coffee or a frappuccino or something. That's really good. I like mixing these up because I'm not a guy that can do the same thing every day. If you told me I could live to be 180 years old, if I ate spinach 3 times a day every day and that's all I ate, I'd probably ask you, like, what do I got to do to make it to like 90, 95, right? I need variety. So between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m., I'm going to drink a Keto OS or drink a Keto OS combination with another one. And then I go back to work, jam things out, get a bunch of stuff done. I'm most productive in the morning. So I get up between 5 and 6, and between that 5 and 6 and probably noon, 1 o'clock, I probably get a whole day's worth of work done in that time frame. And I just knock it out. That's just me. That's just the way I am. Around 11 to 1, I try to eat a ketogenic diet. Now, I try not to eat after 7 p.m. and before 11 a.m. I call it the 7-Eleven diet. And I've got a video on my YouTube channel. You can check that out. It talks about that. But basically, it's just giving your body time to rest and repair itself, a little intermittent fasting, if you will. And I'm not a big morning person, so I don't eat a big breakfast in the morning. And I know somebody just said, Anthony, the breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And that might be true if you're burning glucose for fuel. I'm burning ketones for fuel. I'm not burning glucose. If you burn glucose, when you consume carbs and consume sugar, they're going to burn off within about 2 hours. So that's why if you think about these diets and these nutritionists that tell you that you need to eat every 2 hours, it's because that's the glucose regimen, how long it takes to actually process that. So you eat breakfast. 2 hours later, you eat a snack. 2 hours later, you eat lunch. 2 hours later, you eat a snack. 2 hours later, you eat dinner. 2 hours later, you eat a snack. 2 hours later, you go to bed. So if you think about that process, if you're burning glucose, that's why they want you to eat every 2 hours. I'm not hungry in the morning, mainly because I'm in a fasting state when I'm asleep. I wake up in a fasting state. That means my body's burning its fat for fuel. I want to stay in that state as long as possible. Obviously, I have a lot of fat to burn. So I just don't even think about eating. I start to get hungry between 11 and 1, and when I get hungry, I go eat. So between 11 and 1, I eat a ketogenic meal, and I'm not a purist. I don't say that it has to be this and that and measure this and it's so many of these and those. Man, I just kind of keep it simple, right? Just generally follow a ketogenic guideline. A lot of people eat bacon, eggs, avocados, and cheese. I do that a lot. Sometimes it's fried eggs, sometimes it's scrambled eggs, sometimes it's scrambled eggs with avocado and salsa and sour cream. I just mix it up, make different things. Also eat a lot of steak. I don't get the lean cuts of steak. I don't get fatty, low quality steak, but I get steak that's got nice marbling and nice trim on it, and I eat all of it. So here's a couple of things I have on here. So we got the eggs, bacon, avocado, and cheese. We got, that's one possible meal. Steak, Brussels sprouts, and a wedge salad. That's another possible meal. These are all meals that I normally eat. A bacon cheeseburger, with all of the toppings on it, and then I wrap it in a lettuce wrap. So I take some iceberg lettuce and I overlay 2 pieces of iceberg lettuce and make a wrap. Works out really good. You can also get those at Five Guys Burgers and Fries. They'll make those for you, and there's a number of other restaurants that will do that as well. Red Robin will do that as well. They have a bunless hamburger that you can get there too. And then broccoli cheese soup. My broccoli cheese soup is made with cream cheese, heavy cream, and broccoli. That's bacon grease, some bacon crumbles and a little bacon grease, just to give it a little flavor. And then with that, I had a grilled ham and cheese sandwich. Now, I'm not a bread guy because I'm trying to stay away from carbs, but there are a couple breads that are a little bit better than others. The Ezekiel bread or the very dense, very heavy grain breads. If you go to your grocery store, you're going to have to be careful because a lot of the healthy breads are not healthy at all. They're crap. They're worse than the regular bread. So I look at the backs of every one of the breads, and you can find bread that's probably between 6 grams and 9 or 10 grams per slice for regular size slices. I don't want a little micro slice. I want a regular size. And so I just try to find one of those. I don't eat it very often, and it's good to keep in the freezer. So I keep it in the freezer, take a couple slices out, put it in the toaster, or take a couple slices out, let it thaw for a little bit, and then make a grilled cheese with it. And I make a grilled ham and cheese, and I use regular ham with the fat in it and all that good fun stuff. It's very good. If you're looking for recipes, people are always saying, well, Anthony, how did you figure this stuff out? Simple. Go and just Google keto and whatever food you're trying to figure out. Keto meatloaf, keto casserole, keto pizza, keto dry rub ribs, keto pot roast, keto stringy roast beef, whatever it is you're looking for. There are tons of recipes out there. And what I usually do is I usually print out 3, 4, 5 different recipes, and then I kind of compare them, and then I look to see what ingredients I like to use And one ingredients are easy. If you're going to tell me that I got to sift this and I got to trim this and I got to, zest a lemon, man, I'm going to shoot some lemon juice in there or squeeze a lemon or something, but I'm not a gourmet chef. I want something to be relatively quick. So just search keto and whatever. So 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I eat a ketogenic diet. And then sometime between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m., I drink another Keto OS drink. And just depends on what I had previously. If I had a double previously, I might have a single now, or if I'm really tired and groggy, or if I've got to go do a bunch of stuff, I'll just mix it up. And again, I'm the variety guy, so I like mixing all my different things. Usually, I'll have, if I'm going to have a coffee, I usually have a coffee in the morning, a hot coffee. And I make a coffee I call a double barrel coffee. And that's basically coffee, hot coffee with a keto cream, with some Kerrygold butter, real butter, grass-fed butter, and some either MCT oil or coconut oil. And I mix that, so it's a double shot because the keto cream has MCT oil in it. So then I'm putting more keto cream or more MCT oil in it. That's why I call it a double barrel coffee. So I get both. Some people say, well, Anthony, do you eat with your Keto OS? Can you take Keto OS with food? Yeah, that's fine. I don't have any issues with Keto OS at any time. I can drink it in the morning. I can drink it with a meal. I can drink it without a meal. I can drink it on the road. I can drink it outside. I can drink it warm, hot, cold. I really don't have any issues, but you'll have to figure out for yourself what the challenge is. I guess the one issue I have is when I forget to take it, I can really feel it. So I really need to make sure that I stay on my regimen. And doing the double up, doing the Maui and the orange together, and putting it in the Yeti cup with the blended in the icy, that works out pretty good because instead of me drinking that in 15 minutes, I can drink that over an hour or an hour and a half, and I've got a double dose in there. So that works. All right, so you take a second Keto OS, or I take a second Keto OS at 1 to 3 p.m. So somewhere around 5 to 6 o'clock, I'm going to eat a ketogenic meal, another one. Same kind of deal. Now, for lunch, sometimes I eat a little bit bigger meal, but not necessarily. And then I just try to not eat too big meals, right? I try to eat reasonable meals, and I don't force myself. If I'm not hungry, I don't eat. So I only eat when I'm hungry, and I only eat until I'm full. But some other things I would eat in the evening: crustless combination pizza. If you like pizza, go and Google keto crustless pizza. Now you can make pizza crust out of some almond flour, coconut flour. There's recipes for that. You can make pizza crust out of cauliflower. I haven't really played with that. I'm not sure how that would work. I like it just the crustless pizza. It basically looks like a lasagna. You're making a pizza in a baking dish, and I put everything in there. I put Italian sausage, I put ground beef, I put pepperoni, onions, mushrooms, peppers, multiple kinds of cheese. Sometimes to just mix it up, I'll put a little ricotta in there, or ricotta mixed with cottage cheese. Usually not, because it doesn't set up as well. But I use lots of layers of cheese because that's my big binder. That stuff works out great. I make an entire casserole dish. I cut it into servings, and then I'll put it in that food saver bag, and I'll freeze them. And I've got those keto pizzas just whenever I'm hungry. They're really good. The sausage and the ground beef have good fats in them. The pepperoni has good fats in them. If you get your better hard cheeses, don't get your super cheap off-brand cheeses. You want to get good harder cheeses. But that is an awesome one. Chicken, when I eat chicken, I either eat a baked chicken or grilled chicken skin on. We roast them, we put them on the grill, but I do skin on, and I particularly like thighs. I like dark meat, and a thigh just seems to be a right portion of, 1 or 2 thighs, or a thigh and a leg. I will do some white meat, but I'm not a white chicken breast, tasteless. If I get a chicken breast, I'm going to pound it out thin, and I'm going to season the heck out of it, and I'm going to cook it in some bacon grease, or I'm going to cook it in some butter. So I need some flavor there. And then I like asparagus. You can do asparagus lots of different ways. Bacon wrap, put it on the grill. Bacon wrap, put it in the broiler, or just cook it. Also, if you have leftover asparagus, you can actually put that in a blender with some heavy cream and some cream cheese and make a cream of asparagus soup with your leftovers, especially if it's been roasted. That's really good roasted asparagus soup. Barbecue ribs. People say you can't have barbecue ribs on a diet. Buddy, I have barbecue ribs all the time. I just don't have the ones with sauce on them. I have the dry rub barbecue ribs. I don't even buy the pre-made ones like at Costco or whatever, because I don't know what they put in them. A lot of times they'll put brown sugar in there, or they'll put table sugar in there. So I just buy my ribs, and then I just put a good dry rub on it. Okay, a little cayenne, little paprika, some pepper, some good sea salt or Mediterranean salt, and we're good to go. Another big one we eat a lot is taco salads and fajita taco salad. So ground beef, we mix up ground beef with taco seasoning, and we have it around and available because my kids are doing sports and activities, and they're running all the time. So we have that available. I do taco meat, so I'll do some chicken or some beef, some steaks, and do it fajita style. And then I'll have that on a salad with no bowl, or with no crust, right? Just in a bowl. And that's usually lettuce, tomato, onion, black olives, the fajita meat, either chicken or steak or both, and then sour cream, guacamole, and taco sauce and salsa. That's a nice size meal, and it's got a lot of lettuce in it. I also eat a lot of wedge salads with blue cheese and bacon crumbles. That's another one that's good. About a year ago, I'd tell you all the time, I don't eat salad. I hate salad. It's rabbit food, blah, blah, blah. My taste buds, now that I'm not eating the carbs, I'm not eating the sugars, and I'm not eating the processed crap, I'm actually enjoying my vegetables more, and I'm enjoying salads more. Just got to make sure I eat enough fats with my salad. So I've got to have a protein with it, and I got to have a good fatty protein. You'll notice that I said avocado a lot. I try to eat an avocado at least every other day, if not every day. I'll buy the guacamole, single serving guacamoles, and keep them in the refrigerator as a easy, quick to go. If I've got a couple avocados and one of them goes bad and I need to go back to the store, I can always grab one of those out. So I try to do avocados, every day. All right, so from 5 to 6, I'm going to eat another meal. And then from 6 to 7:30, I try to get some kind of exercise. Okay, so I retired a couple of years ago as a chairman of Team Georgia USA Wrestling, so I was out of wrestling, and just when you get out, they pull you back in. No, actually, I wanted to coach again, and I wanted to coach the little kids, the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds, the beginners, the kids that don't know anything. I actually like teaching them. Most coaches don't, because those are the kids that scream and run all over the place and climb all over everything and have the attention span of a gnat. I like figuring out how to coach those guys, playing games, teaching them things when they think they're playing a game, but they're actually doing a drill. So I coach 3 nights a week from 6 to 7:30, and then the other nights of the week I'm in the garage, cleaning the garage, doing stuff in the garage, doing honeydew projects, and doing stuff around there. Working in the yard. We just put a patio out back. We've got a bunch of stuff that we want to do. Kids are getting older and getting ready to go off to college, so now we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with the house as we're moving on. So we're kind of doing the entertaining stuff now and working on the backyard more. Walk in the park. I don't walk in the park as much, but my mother-in-law, Nancy Green, she walks every single day, 2 hours or more a day, every single day, and she has lost, 80 pounds, 90 pounds. She looks fantastic. I wish I had 2 hours a day to dedicate to walking, or I wish I actually would want to walk for 2 hours a day. I'm not sure that I'd want to walk for 2 hours a day. But those that like to walk 2 hours a day, my mother-in-law is religious about it. She does it every single day, and man, she looks great. And then the other one is go to the gym. And again, I don't go to the gym very often. I have some workout equipment here at the house, so I can walk on a treadmill. I have a universal gym. I have an Olympic bench and weights. I have a bike. I have an elliptical. So I have what I need here. But so I'll do a little bit on one of those, or I'll go to the gym. But that's kind of at the bottom of my list, because I'd actually rather coach wrestling or do work around the house than I would go to gym. I don't know why, but that's just me. And then when I get back from wrestling practice, it ends at 7:30. You chit chat. You get home. It's about 8 o'clock. I may, if I'm feeling a little hungry, or maybe I had a Keto OS at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock, and I'm wanting to have another one, I'll have another Keto OS, but I'll have an uncaffeinated version. and I'll just mix that up with some water and have one of those. That way I'm not taking any caffeine right before going to bed. And then by 8:30, 9 o'clock, I like to be in bed, and I'm usually asleep by 9 or shortly thereafter. Now, a couple things that I do. I grew up not being a reader. And then when I did become a reader, I only read technical manuals, and I only read personal development stuff, and I kind of still pretty much do that. So I'm going to give you a couple things that I'm reading, that I've read, that I'm done. So let's see. For business books, .com Secrets, Russell Brunson's book, awesome book. I keep it nearby. I've got several of his courses as well, so that's one thing. I'm a big Seth Godin fan. So Big Moo, Tribes, All Marketers Are Liars, Permission-Based Marketing. These were all great books. I try to get my books both in physical and on audible.com, because I can wear headphones. I can speed up audible.com, and I can listen to it, and I can look at the words on the page. I have ADD, I'm sure. I'm not a doctor diagnosed, but I'm sure I do. So listening to it and looking at the words helps me go faster, helps me speed read, but also helps me get the information without me realizing that I went through 3 pages and I don't remember what I just read. So that combination really helps me a lot. Here's the ones that I'm reading now. One is Willpower, and this is who's this from? Well, just look it up. Willpower. It's a New York Times bestseller. Anybody who thinks willpower is just a matter of, I'm just going to do it. Willpower is a chemical reaction. We need to put our bodies into a state that allows us to have willpower. People know that sometimes they have a lot of willpower and sometimes they don't. It's more often than not a chemical combination than it is that you're just a lazy slob. So that's a good book. I'm about halfway through reading it for the second time. This is a book for you. Tim Ferriss's Tools of the Titans. A bunch of people are reading this. A bunch of my friends are reading this. You can get this at Costco for like $16.99. I think it's a $28 book. Costco had them at Christmas time for $16.99. I bought a bunch and gave them away. I'm only on page, what am I on? Page 75. This is my restroom reading, so I keep this in the restroom and I read, a couple pages every time. So I'll eventually get through this book, but that's my restroom reading. And then up next, brain influence. Again, I'm all about what chemicals affect the brain, how the brain affects your performance, how your success factors are based on how well your brain is operating. So this is another good one. I haven't started this one yet. Picked up a couple books yesterday at the used bookstore. There's a place here in Atlanta called Second and Charles. There's some other places, but I'm sure there's used bookstores as well. But another Seth Godin book, The Icarus Deception. This is a good one, so I'm going to be reading that one. And then this one's interesting, and I just read it. It's got a reference by Seth Godin in it, so I kind of picked it up. It's called Flip the Funnel. I'm all about sales funnels and business processes. So Flip the Funnel. It's basically about how to use your current customers to reference sell to other customers. How to use your current customers to get more customers. So that's another good one. So if you have any ability to buy books, buy them. If you can't buy books, you just don't have the money, don't have the resources, go to YouTube. Most of these books, the concepts that are in these books, they've made videos. Somebody's made a video on. Go to YouTube. You can watch the video for free. I oftentimes, where's my stuff at? Here we go. I oftentimes will go to bed at night watching a YouTube video. And I picked this thing up on Amazon for about 27 bucks. It's a little headband. I'm not going to put it on now because I got a business meeting I need to go to. But basically, you put this on and it's over your ears. You can pull it down over your eyes too. Haven't traveled, but I'm planning on traveling with it because airplanes, noise and all that good fun stuff. The headphones aren't that great. They're just kind of like your average headphones. I've got some good Bose headphones and I've got some ear candy headphones. But this works well enough, and it's soft and you can sleep in it. So I'll plug that into my iPad. And I'll put on a video or a playlist and just go to sleep doing that. You can also listen to meditation music and things that will really calm your body and all that good fun stuff. I find that when I do this, I fall asleep right away. Right away. Just put on somebody talking, put it on a medium volume, and I don't know about this. You learn all this stuff in your sleep. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know, but I do know for sure that I sleep better when I have some headphones covering my ears and I'm not hearing all the other background noise. So okay, so 8:30 to 9, go to bed, get some sleep, get as much sleep as you possibly can, really focus on trying to be consistent with your sleep, trying to get as much as you possibly can. And again, if you're going to take a Keto OS, if you take one an hour or so before you go to sleep, I believe it helps me sleep. I believe it helps me induce sleep. I used to take PM medication to go to sleep, and I don't take any of that anymore. And I used to wake up 10, 12 times, and sometimes wake up completely. I have a Fitbit. It tell me how many times I wake up. And that doesn't happen anymore. Maybe I turn over and toss 2 or 3 times. Maybe I wake up once, maybe I don't, but it's a lot less than I used to, and I'm getting a lot better sleep. So, okay, well, hopefully this video is helpful. Again, if you got some questions that didn't get answered in this video, please put those questions in the comments below, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to continue to make some more videos like this. This is a little bit longer than I wanted it to go, but if you'll tell me the videos you want me to make, I'll try to make videos that specifically address the comments, concerns, suggestions, whatever you have. Again, AnthonyFlatt.com. You can leave me a voicemail. You can send me an email to Anthony@AnthonyFlatt.com. You can leave comments here on my YouTube channel. I think that's it. Reach out, let me know. Hopefully you found that useful, and I appreciate it, and take care.